I'd like you to trace around the circle of that hex wrench. Okay, so if you ever handled a hex wrench, you know that that edge there is a perfect circle. Much to the annoyance of mechanics, they put that on my dad used to stick his hex wrench, the nut part, on the top of the car, and it would roll off. Yeah, really annoying. But, yes, that's a hex wrench. And then inside is a hexagon, and it's inscribed, which means the corners touch from the inside, but the arms of the angle are in. So the corners are on the circle, but the arms are in the circle. That is the definition of inscribe. To inscribe a shape in a circle, the vertex, that's the hinge, the vertex of the angles are on the circle, on. See what I mean by on? That's on. And the arms are in. That's why it's called inscribe. Vertex on, arms in. Vertex on, arms in. Say those 4 words. Vertex on, arms in. That is essentially an inscribed angle. How many of you have used one of those wrenches before? Used one. Great. Tell a neighbor, when was the last time you used one of those puppies?
I was fixing my skateboard. 2 months ago.
Sheridan, you need something here? Got it. All righty. Ready? Now, this right here, I want you to trace AOC. If darken O, O's the center here. Let's trace AOC. And if O's the central, if O's the center, AOC is what kind of angle? Out loud, guys, what is it?
Central.
That's right. That's a central angle. And we learn measure of a central angle to its arc, that's right. So that arc, A to C, is equal. Now I'd like you to trace and sweep ABC. And that's inscribed. Positionally, B is on the circle. The arms are in. I want you to do a little something. If you're not an artist, it's okay. Just do the best you can. I'd like you to visualize 2 hands here. Try to visualize 2 hands. Use little stick figures. I want you to visualize head on, arms in, hands grab an arc. I want you to visualize those hands grabbing the arc. So you kinesthetic learners, this is how an inscribed angle is positioned. I'd like you to take your hand like this. That line represents the circle itself. Put that in the middle of your head. So that's what I mean. That hand is representing right there. Can you visualize that? Okay. Say head on, arms in, hands grab. You are now an inscribed angle. That's the definition. The head is on the circle. That's why you go like that. You can feel it go through your head. Your arms are in the circle. Your hands grab an arc. Can you visualize that? That is an inscribed angle. The central angle is equal to the arc. Tell a neighbor the inscribed angle is what the arc. Tell a neighbor from the videos. Inscribed's not saying. Yeah, this one's half. Yeah. Half. Alrighty, on that note, let's take a look at this page here. Now we're going to do what's called framing. You're going to take your Post-its and we're going to frame angle C. Let me get this here. Get your Post-its. We're going to frame. Oops, hang on. I got to switch the video. Okay. So what you have here is C is framed like so. C is framed. And this angle grabs this arc. So if you don't have colors, just squiggle it. Squiggle, 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 squiggle. So C frame grabs that arc. You okay with that? Did you squiggle it? Or color code? Okay. Now we're going to frame E. On your papers, now your Post-its are on this side. Right here. Here's your Post-its now. 1, 2. Add this. I'm going to dot it. That's what's being grabbed. Are you okay with that? That's what called framing is. Now, I want to point something out to you. I'd like you to trace, please. Trace this shape. Trace that shape, please. Out loud, how many sides does this have? 4. This is a 4, and it's a quad, and it's inscribed in a circle. There's a very important property going on. Okay, ready? This angle is half of that. So just draw a line there and write half of. Did you catch that? Obviously, this is easier if it's color-coded. If you have squiggle and dot, it'll work. And this one, E is half of that. Good? All right. Now look, between those two angles, how much of the circle was grabbed? Out loud, how much? All of it. So between those two angles, 360 degrees was grabbed. Now, we can't tell what those angles are individually, but we do know that they're half of 360, which means the angles A and C, E and C, themselves have to add up to what? Bingo. And that's true of all opposite angles inscribed in a quad. Opposite angles are going to add up to 180. So in my diagram, the red and the green add up to 180. And then going this way, the blue and the yellow are going to add up to 180. So it says right here, therefore the opposite angles of all inscribed quads are supplementary. Ready? I'd like you to read that blue sentence to yourself. Go. Yeah, out loud, guys. Thank you. Go. Yeah, see. Sorry about that, guys. We're all hesitating. There's your Where's Waldo. All right, ready? I want you to take your papers like this quickly and in your own words explain what does that mean. Pick up your picture and explain what does that sentence mean to a neighbor. Go. Please darken all the vertexes. That's the first thing you want to do. So A you darken, B you darken, C and D. Darken your vertexes because it's at those hinges you are framing. Those are your hinge points. Do you get that? Okay. So again, you're starting here. You sweep the 60. You find that arc. I'm going to picture someone in 5 seconds. Okay, Carla Kia, what'd you get, ma'am? So, well, that's 60. 60 is half of something. So you ask yourself, what times 60 times 2 is what, ma'am? Bingo. Who else got 120? You are correct. So we have here 120. Okay, so for this one, you are sweeping the 90, and you're back here now. Ready? 5 seconds. I'm going to pester someone. You're going to find that angle. Richard, what you got there, buddy? Okay, this is the arc. This back here is the angle. Let's write this in the margin. Angle equals half of the arc. Okay, now this 90, is that an arc or an angle, Richard? So that's going to go right here. So that's 90 divided by 2. So Bingo. 45. Ready? Let's frame something else up. Okay, so we have 96 back here. Do your math. Okay. Jeremy, what'd you get? 48. Can you tell us what did you do to get that? It is always your goal to try to find all the arcs first. Ready? Everybody put your pencil on A. A. Go all the way around through D, through C, end at B. Find me that. Go. Sheridan, what'd you get, ma'am? You do. So you should have done 90 and 96 and 120, my dear. I think you dropped at 120. Just double check your math. 90, 96, 120. Go ahead and do that. Okay. Amy, do you have that arc, ma'am? Okay, the yellow is 306. Exactly. The yellow. Is that what you said? I was not listening carefully. I apologize. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not an auditory processor. I'm a visual processor. I need to listen more carefully. So the yellow is 306. So the blue, Ethan, is going to be what? 54. There you go. Now, let's go back here. Now that we have that 54, we have 54 here now. So let's frame an angle that grabs that 54. You see it? If that's 54, now you can find that. Alrighty, guys, let me go over the answers here real quick. So you should have gotten here, this was half of 54, you got 27. This was half of 90, this is 45. This was half of 120, so this is 60. This one was 48. Let me see, walked it around. This one was also 27. So there's all your inscribed angles. Then you had to add them up, take them away from 180, and get these creatures on the inside. There's 105, 105, 75, and 75. Okay, you see that? Okay, let's try one more together before I release you completely on your own. Let's take a stab at this one. Get your calculators handy. Or if you want to use your own brain, I always encourage that. I'm going to call on someone in about 45 seconds. So what your job right now is you're trying to find A, and you're working with that arc. Sarah, what'd you get for A, ma'am? Exactly. And she's acting surprised because it's a what? Okay, decimals are people too, my friends. Don't assume you're wrong because it's a decimal. I only said that because all of you asked me decimals like Sarah did. It's like your voice goes up. Like, really? This way? Have a little confidence in yourself. Decimals don't mean you're wrong. Okay, now let's see what we can do here. Opposite angles add up to how much? Okay, that means as of this moment, you can now, everybody can find C. Do that now. Opposite angles. You don't even need to frame that. Find it. Devin, what'd you get? 79.5. See, even Devin's voice raises in the end. All right. Let's see. Now I invite you to frame C. I'm not going to tell you what to find. I'm going to ask someone what they found in just a moment and how they found it. Yes, you may use calculator. Oh, you shouldn't really need it. It's 80 times 2 minus 4. Come on, guys. Kelly, tell me what you found then. Okay, and what'd you get for the arc AB? What a what? 105. And if you add 105 and 54, what do we get? 159, which should be the same as that. You see that? Because if you double 79.5, what do you get? Aha! See, it all fits together. Ready? You find everything else that you can find in that diagram. Do it yourself. There's more to find. Find some.